Hey everyone, I'm Brandon from Funnel Amplified, and thanks for joining me. We're going to go through this video and talk about the Funnel Amplified solution, and specifically for sales teams. We're going to talk about how we align your sales activity to match how people currently buy, or as we like to say, how the modern buyer's journey is for them. So if you're watching this, you've probably already seen or gone through a live presentation on our Social Selling Training Academy, which is awesome. If you have not, I highly recommend going through that as well. So what Funnel Amplified does is, and I said it earlier, is we want to align sales activities to match the modern buyer's journey. And in order to do that, we need to organize the sales process to match their preferences. And the reason why this is important is because we know that 74% of buyers say that they purchased from the first sales rep or the first company who added value to their research. Now, what do we mean by added value? Well, buyers currently, they'll do somewhere, and there's data, differing data, but somewhere between 57% to 70% of their research before they want to talk to a sales rep. That's a big number. But if 74% of them on this data point here say they actually purchased from the first company or sales rep who helped them or added value to their research, then we want to be that sales rep, right? We want to be that company. How do we help buyers make buying decisions? Well, it's not by asking them for a demo. It's not by asking them to get on a phone call. I mean, think about your own buying processes. Take your sales rep hat off, or your sales leader or business owner hat off for a second, and think about the way you buy. The other day, I was talking with the CEO of a company, and he said this great story. He said it was one of the most expensive learning experiences he ever had. He said when he thinks about the way he buys, he doesn't answer cold calls. He doesn't respond to cold emails. Most of those go straight to spam. And he goes, look, when I'm ready to buy something, I'm either going to ask my network on social media, or I'm going to do a Google search, and I'm going to do my search. I don't want to talk to people that want to get me on a phone or do a demo with me. He goes, yet when he created his sales program for his company, he filled it with cold calls and cold email and cold outreach and social media. And he himself says he failed miserably. And it wasn't until he made an adjustment to how buyers think and how buyers buy that he started to get success. So what is it that the modern buyer's journey is? Well, again, I encourage you to think about the way you buy. We do research. We got our phones, we have our laptops, we read. We don't want to get on calls with people until we want to get on calls with people. We want to do our own research. We're reading case studies. I don't know about you, but when I download a case study and then 5 minutes later, someone's calling me, it really, really annoys me. I'm doing my research. I don't want to talk to you. If I wanted to talk to you, I would have asked you, right? But if modern buyer's journey is filled with content and they're doing their research and they're doing 70% of it before they ever want to talk to salespeople, well, then we need to be those who share content with them. I mean, content is truly king. If buyers are researching, buyers are consuming content, buyers are doing this on their own, well, then we need to provide content. Because when we provide content and it's valuable content, it helps them think through what their problem is or what their challenges are, or helps them envision solutions, then they invite us into that discussion. And there's a big difference from them inviting us into solving their problem and us trying to get them on a phone to do a demo. So what we do at Funnel Amplified is we put together what we call a better content performance, right? We want to give you better content performance in a personalized format with actionable analytics. Now, what does all this mean? Well, we take content and we take brand content, we'll take curated content, we take whatever content is necessary to help sales reps communicate with buyers. And we put it on what we call a personal content hub. It's personalized for the sales rep or for somebody in the C-suite or customer success or whoever it may be on the team, and we create it as their personal content hub, and then we put content on it. It could be blog articles, it could be ebooks, it could be videos, it could be whatever content your brand or an individual needs to build relationships and start conversations with their network, their buyers, their current customers, their prospects, whoever it may be. Now, what do we mean by actionable analytics? I mean, this is the fun part. It really is, because we put in the sales rep dashboard actionable analytics. So you know who's coming to your content hub, how often are they coming, what are they reading, what does it mean that they're reading these articles. Our buyer intent feature will tell you, based on their visits and what they're reading, this is a topic that they care about. So it equips our sales reps to have the right conversations with people. We're equipped to say, I want to talk to you about this instead of this. We can really focus and be a value-added asset to buyers and helping them in their research, rather than try to throw darts at a wall and hope that we're guessing on what exactly their problem is. So where does this all begin? And some of you may have already gone through and seen our story deck about our social selling and digital relationship building training. I'm just going to touch on it briefly here. In the Funnel Amplified Social Selling Training Academy, our focus is really helping you build relationships in a digital format, right? COVID has shut down a lot of face-to-face. A lot of companies their employees are realizing they don't want to go to the office. They don't want to travel as much. And more people are going to be working from home. And what does that mean? It means that we need to learn how to build relationships here. We need to build relationships off these screens in front of us. And that means email, that means content, it means social media, it means more Zoom. And in the Funnel Amplified Social Selling Training Academy, our goal is simply this. We want to develop the best sales producers on the planet through training them in an amazing social selling training program that we went out and partnered with the guy that literally wrote the book on it. This is my friend, Tim. Tim Hughes is a founder of DLA Ignite, along with his business partner, Adam Gray. And Tim and Adam, they worked for Oracle for a number of years. They were part of the social selling team at Oracle when it first began. And then they went out on their own and started DLA Ignite. And I have been doing social selling training and creating content around this for years. And when I got introduced to Tim and Adam, and I saw their approach and I saw their success, their case stories, case studies, and what they were doing, it blew my mind away. And I knew I had to go partner with these guys and start bringing their training, their methodology to Funnel Amplified. And that is what we did. My promise to you is their social selling training is the best I've ever seen. And that is what we bring to the Funnel Amplified platform. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Most people, as soon as they hear social selling, they immediately think LinkedIn, or they'll think Facebook. They'll think, oh, I don't want to post a bunch of pictures of my food. Hey, look, let's talk about the value of LinkedIn. When we go through LinkedIn, the first thing we want to do is we really want to address the mindset of LinkedIn, of what is social selling. Like, social is social. That's our belief, right? Social is social. I take everything that happens in social media and I compare it to the activities that I would and would not do at a cocktail party, at the opening ceremony of a conference where everybody's walking around with a drink in their hand. That's social. That's relationship building opportunity. That's an opportunity to get to know people and let people get to know you and build relationship, because it's only through relationship that B2B and professional service sales take place. People need, as salespeople, we need them to know us. We need them to like us, and we need them to trust us. And we don't do that by walking up to them immediately, sticking our brochure in their face and go, this is really awesome. You should do this. When can we talk? It just doesn't work. But yet so often in digital, in email, in social media, in direct messages and social media, we think, I'm going to tell you my value proposition. I'm going to tell you why you should get on the phone with me. And I'm going to give you my link for my calendar. and say, book a time with me and let's talk about this, right? They don't really care. So we go into the mindset, we talk about how do we engage and connect with the right people. And really, we talk a lot about content, because content in all forms, whether it's in an email, it's a social post, it's a direct message in social, it's a blog article on your content hub, content creates conversations, and conversations develop relationships. And it's in relationships that we have opportunities. It's always been this way. It will always be this way. And I'm not talking B2C. I'm not talking you go to Amazon, you buy something, you have no relationship. I get that. But in a B2B world, in professional service, it's all about relationship, and relationships start with the first conversation. Are you good at starting a first conversation? Are people drawn to you, or are they pushing away when they look at your LinkedIn profile, when they see your digital activity in email, in social post, in direct messages in social? Are they drawn to you, or do they pull away from you? So consistency with our digital and our social presence is so important. So he said that content is king. And so what we do with Funnel Amplified is we put content in the palm of your hands so that you can share it with the right person in the right channel at the right time and about the right topic. Funnel Amplified lets you have your brand content published into your content hub, your brochure material. It comes in handy. You need it sometimes, just not at the beginning of a relationship. Your videos, your PDFs, your gated and your ungated content. But we also need curated content. And we've got this amazing, I mean, it's such an awesome, simple formula, and how you could take customers' questions, turn it into content, and use it to build a solid relationship with prospects that leads to closed deals. It is a very simple and great little simple system that we use with our content hubs. So we have any website, any content, we put it in the palm of your hands through our Chrome extension. And just to give you a little sneak peek of some of the things that we believe and we train is the 60-20-20 rule. And this one may capture a lot of you and just go, whoa, wait a minute, this is really bizarre, Brandon, what the heck are you talking about? But we think 60% of the content that you share should be about thought leadership. It should be about the industry. It should be answering customer questions. 20% can be about your brand. We do think, you know, there's a caution there. None of us want to read brochures material. I mean, of course, your brochure is going to say you're the best and all the wonderful things you do. But people don't want to read our brochures. They first want to know, do I like you? Can I trust you? Are you somebody I want to spend time with? That's where deals are done. So 20% can be about your brand, and 20%, the last 20%, and this is my favorite. Any of you that know me, I'm very relational. 20% is what we call the human content or humanized content. Look, social is social. And let me give this example. When you're in a cocktail party at a conference and you have a drink in your hand and you go up and you talk to somebody, do you talk about your brochure material? Do you talk about your business? Do you talk about doing demos? Generally not, because if you do that right away, people pull away from you. They don't want to talk to you. They want to get away because I've got a drink in my hand. I'm being social. And it's a time that we talk about vacations. We talk about our families. We talk about hobbies. We talk about places that we've traveled. It's a place where we get to know each other. And it's a place where we are all making assessments of, do I like this person? Would I want to hang out with them? Are they credible? Are they somebody that I would trust? And through that process, once we get through that and we get beyond some of those questions of do I, that's when they go, so what do you do? And that's when we've earned the right to start talking about our business. But until then, if we do it too soon, we lose that credibility, we lose the right, we become a salesperson, we become an aggressive salesperson, and maybe they don't want to talk with us. So the 60-20-20 rule. And with Funnel Amplified, we have features that let you partner with your team. So if somebody on your team finds a great piece of content and they curate it and it's a great piece to share with potential customers and they want to share it with you, They hit a button and all of a sudden everybody on the team has access to that content. It is a great way of being more consistent without putting pressure on everybody. Because believe me, I know the idea of creating content every day, oh my gosh, it overwhelms most people. It's scary to create content. We get it. We work with you on the training side to take the fear away, to equip you to be a better content creator. And then we use our technology to help you help each other with creating content. We have some curation tactics. We have some curation integrations. But really, if we truly believe that the modern buyer is reading content and doing their research and content is king, we need better technology. We need better tools that allow us to share the right content in a great format with our customers. And that's really what we do at Funnel Amplified. You know, if you think about your customers, you think about your pipeline or your funnel, we break it down into 4 areas. You have above the funnel, and these are people that may not know you, they may not know your brand, but they could be a good customer for you. You have the top of the funnel, and those are people that are starting to get to know you. They recognize your brand. Maybe they visit your profile, they visit a website, they visit a content hub, but they really haven't engaged yet. And then you have the middle to the bottom of the funnel, and that's where they're learning about you. And generally, this is happening through content. It might be the social posts that you're sharing. It might be emails that you're sharing. It might be articles on your content hub that you're putting into emails. But this is where they're starting to learn not just about your company, about your solutions, but they're also assessing and learning about you as a person. Are you somebody that they trust, that they want to do a deal with? And when it comes to writing checks, when it comes to using our budgets, even, you know, we're making decisions for our businesses and writing large checks. We want to make sure that we trust the people that we are working with. So this is what we do at Funnel Amplified to help you win more deals. We start with the Funnel Amplified Social Selling Training Academy that's all powered now by DLA Ignite and their awesome training curriculum. And that's really helping us think about how we're going to show up and how we're going to address all of these people that don't know who we are, right? It's that cocktail party again. How do we go up to them and stick our hand out and shake their hand in a digital environment? Because we don't have the face-to-face, we've got to figure out how to do it digitally. And then for our teams, for your teams, we have Amplify that helps us with getting more reach in social media to be in front of more people with our content. And then we have our content hubs and our buyer hubs that help us use content to move relationships down that pipeline, if you will, and get them into a one-to-one conversation in a digital format. So how can you sell like this? Well, here's Amplify. Amplify is, you know, it's similar to employee advocacy, but there's some key differences. I don't love the term employee advocacy, but it's probably the term that gets used a lot with our Amplify solution. What we do is with Amplify, somebody on your team can create social posts. They could create a variety of social posts. They could have links to the blog on your website. They could have links to content hubs. They could just have images with copy. And we could even use the Amplify solution just to send messages to everyone on the team with instructions that say, hey, today create a blog, create a social post about this. Here's a question, answer this in a video or in copy. But it's a way to get everybody on the team engaged more consistently with sharing content through their social profiles. They get it on their phone, they get a notification, it's scheduled, they get it, they look at it. Everybody has to look at and either approve or dismiss every social post. Right? We're not an automation tool. We don't blast social posts into everybody's social accounts. We deliver social posts or directions on how to create a social post to their phone, so that they're very simply, they could take a look at it and go, you know what? I like that. Tap the screen and share it into their social account, or go, I like it, but I want to edit it. These are good instructions. I'm going to edit it, change it a little bit, put it in my own voice, add my own spin to it, and then share it. You know, I like to say that Amplify is a lot like training wheels. We know that we should be creating content every day. We know that we should be sharing it with our network, but it's hard. We get busy. We have other things to do. Some days we don't know what to post. But when a team has Amplify, for me, I know on the days that I'm busy or I'm not sure what I want to write, I can look in and go, oh, what was delivered to me today from the marketing team, or what was delivered to me over the last several days? And I can go, that one, and I could share it, and I could show up in my social feed, even though I've been super busy. Because it's not a sharing tool, it's not an automation tool, it's actually the person is physically posting it themselves through FunnelAmplified. It looks like the individual posted themselves. It doesn't look any different when somebody gets a post delivered to them in FunnelAmplified and publish it to their personal accounts than if they went straight into LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and created the post from scratch. Now, here's a big differentiator with us. We put, if you have a link inside of a post, and it's an if, you don't have to. I share a lot of posts without links, especially because it's better for the algorithms to get more visuals. But if you share a post with a link, we have our embedded tracking system that you'll start to be able to identify people and the companies that they work with based on their IP address. So what this means, if you are a sales team, you have named accounts, you have regions, you have an ABM strategy, and you want to know as you're actively using LinkedIn to generate more connections and get in front of people from specific companies because they're a target or a named account for you, when you're sharing content and you go into FunnelAmplified, or you get a notification from FunnelAmplified, it says, hey, somebody from ABC company who's one of your targeted accounts just clicked on your social post. You could click into that, you get information about the company, and you can even get specifics on where did they click it from. It was a social post, it came out of LinkedIn, they went to this page. And if you want to take a look and start to see if you can identify who the specific person was, with our integrations with LinkedIn is Sales Navigator, Zoom Info, or Info 411. You click the link and you go to their business directory, and you can start to see potentially who the individual person was. It's a really cool tool to help you stay on top of who you should be communicating with. Now, let's get into our content hubs, right? These are individual content hubs. I showed you an image of it at the beginning. These are publicly accessible. So it's like a blog site, except it's for each individual on your team, whether it's somebody on the C-suite, it's someone in executive leadership, it's sales, it's customer success, it's HR. It is a platform filled with content so that people could get to know you. We don't want to pick up the phones very often. We prefer to read now. We prefer to watch videos. We prefer to do our research on our own. So these individual content hubs are designed that they could represent you in a digital format so that you can build digital relationships with people. They're publicly accessible like a website, like a blog, and people can come and read and watch videos and get to know you. Again, it's just like that networking event, right? When people can start to see who you are, what you're like, they're making assessments. Do I like this person? Is this person like me? Do they think like me? Do I trust them? Are they somebody that I would want to invite into a sales conversation? Do I think that they would be a good advisor for me? Those are the types of things that people are thinking about when they're assessing who they want to work with. So our content hubs are where we could put brand content. We can curate content from other websites. We could take industry websites. I mean, I've got an article on my content hub about my love affair with Manchester United Soccer Club, football club for those in Europe, right? Why do I do that? Well, if I'm in a cocktail party and we're getting to know people and I see people from the UK and I ask them, oh, you know, are you familiar with, you know, who do you like in football? Who do you support? And, oh, I'm a fan. I like this company. I can tell my story to them about how at 13 years old, I became a Manchester United fan and my progress with it. It's a really cool story. And that's a story that I would normally tell in like a cocktail event, but you don't feel like you normally have time to do that in social media. Oh, that's more Facebook information than LinkedIn. Well, you know what? I think that content is extremely valuable. And our data, our research shows that that type of content is more engaging, gets people talking to us more. And everything that we want to do is about using digital to create conversations, because it's in conversations that relationships are developed. And it's in relationship that business opportunities come about. So using our content hub to share content about our brand, yes, about our industry, about challenges that buyers are facing, about solutions, about case studies, about ourselves, about what we like to do when we're not working, about what our home work environments are like, or about the stresses we deal with because of COVID and uncertainty. Those are conversations. Those are topics that people resonate with. So when you have content on your hub, not only are you clearly presented on there, your picture, your name, it's about you, but we make it very, very easy with our technology inside Funnel Amplified that you could share those articles with your network. You can share it in text message. You can embed it in emails. You can send it in emails through some of our integration partners like SalesLoft. And of course, you can always share it in a more big way in your social news feeds as a social post. And this again is where we get fun. When people visit your content hub, we are able to see what companies are with, where they came from, and potentially we even see all the different articles that they've read. And if they've visited a few times, they've clicked, they've spent, they left, they come back, we even give you, through our buyer intent feature, we can give you insights into what that individual is researching. Based on how many times they visited, how much time they spent on different articles, what were the content on those articles, you can start to identify what that person is interested in. Now, why is this important? Because if we know that they're interested in this case, sales success problems, then we can keep talking to them. And when I say talking in a digital format, we could share more information with them. We can send them links to additional articles. We can share with them some of our social posts that addressed it. We can position ourselves as that trusted advisor by helping them with more content that gives them insights into what they are researching. Isn't that just a great way of showing ourselves or demonstrating ourselves as a good, trusted, valuable advisor into their life? Now let's get into the buyer hub. The buyer hub, as we get a little bit further down in the funnel, this is where we've already earned that right, where we've had a conversation with them. And when I say conversation, it may have been some commenting back and forth in social media. It could have been some direct message. It could have been trading a few emails, but we've had some sort of interaction, a digital conversation. And now we want to take it to a more one-to-one level. And this is what we call our buyer hub. With the press of a button, it'll spin up. We customize it. You'll see up here, this is for my friend Ashton. So it says, welcome Ashton. It's got his logo of his company on the left side. I've got a little message up top. I like throwing my signature in there. You don't need to do that. But why do we do this? Well, because it helps create that personalization for the buyer to capture their attention, right? They get there and they see their name, they see their logo, they see a personal message. How many times have you visited a website that was personalized for you? Right? We don't see that very often. So it captures their attention. And through our integration with Vidyard and with Loom, you can embed a personal video. You know, I love to do those little animated GIF videos where I'm doing this and they get there and it captures their attention. They click it and I go, hey, Ashton, thanks for visiting. And I get to share some information in a more rich medium that video is. And on the content or on the Buyer Hub, I'm able to select which content I want to share specifically with Ashton. Now we have features in place, so you can press a button by personas and it'll automatically put content there based on what your company or you've predetermined is ideal for that type of buyer. But you can also use our platform to see what articles have they been engaging with already? What content do they care about? What topic is important to them? And you can customize the pieces that you add to the Buyer Hub. You can add your PDFs, you could add videos, you could add blog articles, you could add sales sheets, you could embed PowerPoints and webinars and videos. You might be watching this video on one of my Buyer Hubs, but you can embed and have the right content for your buyer so that they have a very personalized experience. You know, as we keep talking about, buyers select trusted advisors. Buyers will select people they think will help them make good buying decisions. When you share a Buyer Hub with them and you've got a personal message, you got a personal video, and you have a lot of content on there that you know is ideal for them based on their current research or your conversations or your emails with them, don't you think it's going to capture their attention? Don't you think it's going to help separate you from other sales reps that are asking them if they want to have a demo, right? You're positioning yourself, you're aligning your sales activity with how modern buyers are making their buying decisions. That's what we're focused on. We want to help you position yourself, position your activities so that modern buyers look at you as a value-added resource and not somebody they want to avoid because they don't want to get on a phone, they don't want to do a demo before they are ready. That is the entire foundation of Funnel Amplified. Now, with the Buyer Hub, we have also our first-party intent data. As you share that Buyer Hub with them, you're getting information. Are they clicking and coming in? You know, maybe they weren't ready. You'll understand, you'll see if they visited. Then based on their visits, you'll get notifications immediately in our app that they visited. You'll be able to see what they've clicked, what they're researching, and our buyer intent score is always giving you indications every moment, every day of their depth of intention, if you will. And we've got alerts when a buyer's intent score gets to a certain number, you'll get a notification that says, hey, this person puts their name, their company, this is their buyer intent score. They visited you 3 times in the last 2 hours. You know, this is somebody that you should be taking a look at. This is what we mean about actionable analytics in the palm of your hand. We want to help you make the best decisions for serving your customers, for engaging them and having great conversations with your buyers, because we know good conversations lead to better and more deals. As we go deeper into the Buyer Hub, we also have some details on our top engagers today. I love to call it your best prospects today, but we're giving you information on the last 24 hours, who's visited your hub, what did they do? And all of these relate to the value proposition that I believe that we offer to sales individuals and sales teams to help you align your activities with the modern buyer. We want to position sales reps to be trusted advisors and not just a megaphone for the brand, because nobody wants to speak to that person. Nobody wants to be sold. We want to be served. We want to be helped. We want people that are going to help us make good decisions, but we don't want to be sold. I love the ability to be able to curate content from any website. I'll let you in on one of my favorite little tactics. When I'm on a sales call or I'm on customer calls, or even I jump in our chat when our customers need assistance and they're asking questions. I write down their questions, and then I will go out and find an article, not even an article that we've written. Now, as long as it's not a competitor, I'll go out and find an article that helps answer that question. And then I will do, and I got a simple formula. This is under the hood. Don't tell anybody. This is part of our training. But I'll go through with the little system and say, in my blog, on my content hub, I'll say, hey, last week somebody asked this question, and write it out. I go, this is a good question because, and I'll express why it was a good question to ask. And I'll say, I found this article that answers this question, but here are 3 things that I think are really important that this article talks about, or 3 things that I think are also important that this article didn't talk about as it pertains to XYZ. And I go 1, 2, and 3. And sometimes I'll even say, hey, in this other article, go to paragraph 3 and read about this. This will change your life. Now, what did I just do there? Well, I just curated someone else's content. I read it through the lens of my experience, my current company, my role, the question that my customer asked, and I added it into my content hub. And then what I do is I'll take that and I'll go to the person that asked the question and I'll send it to them and I'll say, hey, so-and-so, you asked this question the other day and it really made me think. I've created this article that helps answer it. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, do I come across as a salesperson, or do I come across as an advisor, as a value add to their person, to their job, to their role, to their decision? Modern buyers don't want to be sold. Modern buyers want help with research. Modern buyers want help with making a good buying decision. And we use FunnelAmplified as a platform along with your social media accounts to be able to do that with lots of buyers. Now, one thing I do want to address is I show all these other value propositions up there, is that social media does not take time. I just had that again today as a question. I've got more content coming out with it. Somebody said, you know, I love the concept of social media, but you know what I like about cold email is I know it's not as good, but I can get more immediate responses. Now, I greatly disagree with that. I have seen deals come in, conversations happen through social media just as fast, if not faster. And they're better relationships, they're better deals, they're better long-term relationships through social media. Hey, if you are an individual sales rep, we're kind of done. Like what we shared, it's all that you're going to need. But I throw this in at the end because some of you are either in sales leadership or maybe you're even in the marketing leadership. And so stick with me for about another 2 minutes and see how we really help the overall marketing team to produce better content and get better data on how your buyers are engaging with content. This is a simplified view, but really this is what organizations are doing. I mean, we're looking at who are our vertical markets, what's our solution fit, what's our value proposition, who are our customers, who's our competitors. They look at all this type of information, and what it does is it leads them to their CRM strategy or their ABM strategy, right? It determines the deal flow. It determines how we're going to process or what the sales journey is going to be. And it also determines what content the company is going to create. And then all that content that gets created is going to be used in a few different ways. It goes onto the corporate website. It might be blog content. There might be landing pages. There might be webinars that are behind a form in order to generate leads. There might be PDF downloads, but all that goes on the corporate website. And then they use social media, email as methods, digital methods to go share and tell people that the information is there. They may also use paid advertising, banner ads, things like that, PPC in order to get traffic as well. And some companies are using third-party intent tools like a Bombora or a 6 Sense And they use that in order to influence also the content they're creating, the ABM strategy, named companies in their ABM list. And this is where a lot of companies spend their time. And it's a great system. We want to make it better. And that's where we bring in Funnel Amplified. So with Funnel Amplified, we bring not just our platform, but we also bring in our sales rep dashboard. And what we do with that is we create our content hubs for each individual on the team. We have our buyer hubs for when you want to move the relationship to that one-to-one conversation. We have the ability for every person to curate content when you need it to help with your buyers and answer their questions and be valuable to them. You have the ability for sales reps to create their own original content. What all this content is doing is just helping salespeople build better relationships with buyers in order to move them through the buying process. Now, what we also are doing is taking all of that data from the content hubs and from the buyer hubs. Who's visited? What did they read? How much time did they spend on it? What was their buyer intent data? What's the link tracking? Where did they come from? What articles did they read besides the one that they started with? All of that data we put not just in the dashboard for the sales reps to see and make immediate decisions with, but we also put it back into the organization's CRM, into their content management system. We'll put it also into their third-party intent tools and combine it. Why is this important? Well, the data that we put in, what we want to do is, number one, we want to show on the KPIs. If a buyer goes through content hubs, goes through buyer hubs, they read these 5 different articles, watch this video, and we find out in CRM that they closed 20% faster than the average, we've learned some valuable information on how to share information with this type of buyer. What if we found out that through experiences in buyer hubs and these one-to-one relationships, that those buyers, not only do they buy faster, but what if their deal sizes are larger? Now, there's a precedent for this. In 2019, SAP presented at the Sales Enablement Society conference about a 5-year study they did with social selling. And there's always links all over my content hub for it. But here's the 2 key data points that I took from that research. Number one is that sales reps who use social selling activities were 90% more likely to meet or exceed quota. But the second number is the one that got me really excited. Sales reps who use social selling activities had a 300% larger average deal size. Now, we're taking all this content, we're taking all this data from the content hubs and buyer hubs and putting it back into CRM. And you're able to see that a buyer who has gone through a buyer hub and read these articles and watched these videos, and their average deal size is 200%, 300%, 500% larger than others. Doesn't it soon become standard operating procedure that we want to take those personas and share these articles and these videos with them from specific people on the team? That's why Funnel Amplified is so important. We're so important because we're helping buyers continue to do their buying journey the way that they want, while positioning sales reps to be a part of that equation. And we know that when sales reps are part of that equation, that they are rewarded. 74% of the time, they earn the deal. They earn deals that are generally 300% on average larger deal size because of this style of selling. Hey, I want to thank you for hanging in there with me. I know that this video was a little bit long and we really deep dove in Funnel Amplified. I hope it benefited you. Here's all my information. Connect with me on LinkedIn, be social, tag me, say hi to me. I guarantee I'll be there and show up and be social with you as well. And if you want to visit my own content hub, it's brandon.funnelamplified.com. leave a message there, connect with me there. I'd love to talk with you. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here. Have a great day, and I will talk with you real soon. Good night, everybody.